I missed with the cussing out God part. I just got back up here. When I cussed God out, I told him, I said, if you don't show me what I'm here to live for, I'm basically going to take my own life. I don't want to exist anymore. And I'm not proud of it, but that's just what I did. I was so done with everything. I was spent. So after my next nap, then I'm looking at my dead body. I'm not breathing. I just watched myself for a minute. I'm like, okay, I'm not breathing. I tried to realign myself with my flesh. And in that moment, I was not thinking straight at all. I was very sporadic. I was very irrational with my thinking. I started hyperventilating. And I remember putting my hand back and it went through the dresser. And I went down and I remember looking at it and I'm like, I remember pushing my hand through the dresser and pulling it back out again. It's wood. And I remember feeling like I'm a spirit.
Could you feel your body? Could you feel the wood?
No, I couldn't feel the wood, but I could pinch myself. And I had a little mark where I pinched myself. I felt pain. So I could choose to hold.
So you pinched your soul.
Yeah, but it was almost like like my spirit had another body.
Yes.
And the aspect of like I could choose to hold something and I could choose to go through it. Like I had options. And I didn't even go down the hall. Like I realized I was like, okay, I'm dead. I can't get back in my body. My life is over. And I just walked straight through my wall. I didn't even use the hall. I didn't use the door, nothing. I just went right through my bedroom wall.
Did it feel like anything when you went through?
Nothing. It literally just felt like I just phased through like a slight wind passing, like nothing, no pain.
Like the molecules of the wall just felt like the wind when you went.
Yeah, it was just like walking. Like when you walk into a room, like if you go through a door, you open the door and you walk in, it felt like that transaction entering one space to the next. There was nothing that could have stopped me there. So I run outside and I start panicking again because in my mind I'm thinking, maybe someone can see me. Maybe someone can snap me out of this like vision, this dream, this bad experience I'm having. And like everything was crystal clear. Like I looked around me and things were really, really clear. And so I remember running up to this one lady. She had a baby on her hip. She had a basket of laundry. She was going to do her job. That's all she was allowed to do. And I remember screaming like, help, 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 help. And while I was doing that, someone walked through me. And I remember looking at their eyes and I've ever watched Divergent.
Yes.
Remember that scene where everyone's drugged and like everyone has like this like glazed look and they're just like Salaja and they're all holding guns. It's just like this like I could not talk to anyone. I was like locked. Like I could not get into that world. Yet I was in another world. And my hearing is still going berserk. I heard someone start their car again. I heard someone arguing about supper, like dinner, what they were going to eat for dinner. I heard kids laughing and then another kid screaming. And I started like, my senses started getting heightened. Like to the point where my brain was in complete overload. And I was starting to like, starting to freak out again. That point, an angel just shows up and he's like, it's time for judgment. And I didn't even look. I was like looking at you and it'd be like, this legend of the faith right next to me just like showed up. It's time to go. And
the angel literally said that it's time for judgment.
He said, it's time for judgment. That's all he said. He said, it's time for judgment. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm not doing anything on this earth. I'm locked out. People are driving past in tractors. Kids in little like carts are going past me, being pulled by their maid. Like the community is still living. No one knows I'm dead.
What did this angel look like?
At that moment, well, I know what he looks like because I looked at him later. At that moment, I did not look at him. So I was looking just like you, and out of my peripheral, I could see this angel next to me. He was about 8 feet tall. At that, I'm about 5 foot 11 3/4, so I'm almost 6 foot. But the aspect of he was quite a bit bigger than I, and I just remember I just said, okay. I was sort of in this state of shock, and I'm gonna get into what the angel looks like here in a minute.